My two favorite things in the world are loading up Minecraft and diving deep into the absolute trainwreck relationship drama that total strangers post on the internet. So, I figured, why not just do both at the same time? Today, I've got some wild, freshly picked stories to read while I take care of some necessary chores in my survival world. I desperately need to build a compact, automatic iron golem farm right here near my village trading hall. I've been running low on iron for weeks, so let's get this redstone wired up and judge some internet strangers. Our first story is a bit of a lighter dilemma to start us off. The title reads, Am I wrong for questioning my girlfriend's bizarre habit of only ordering the most expensive family-sized platters at restaurants, just to barely touch them? Our subscriber writes, I've been dating my girlfriend, Julia, for about 4 months now. For the most part, our relationship has been amazing. We've found a really great rhythm, and I've genuinely enjoyed every single second I spend with her. Except for one very specific, very weird thing she does every single time we go out to eat. No matter what kind of restaurant we choose, whether it's a local diner or a high-end Italian spot, Julia will always, without fail, order the absolute biggest, most expensive platter on the menu. A massive family-sized portion. But once the food actually arrives, she just picks at it with her fork while we talk. By the time the waiter brings the check, at least 80% of the food is completely untouched, and she just asks for a to-go box. Now, look, the issue isn't explicitly the money. Even if Julia orders something way out of our usual budget, I'll happily downsize my own order to a side salad or a cheap appetizer just to keep our total bill reasonable. The real issue is that I'm starting to feel incredibly weird sitting across from someone who orders a mountain of food just to look at it. Why ask for that much if she knows she can't finish it? Is she experiencing food insecurity at home and desperately needs the leftovers? Is she not actually hungry and just using me for a free luxury meal prep? As her boyfriend, I'm more than willing to help her out if she's struggling, but I don't know if I'm massively overthinking this or crossing a boundary. Should I just be upfront and ask her what the deal is? Honestly, reading this, I totally get why this guy is stressed out. If you're paying for a nice dinner date, it can be pretty frustrating to see a massive plate of food just sit there. But you also have to be a bit open-minded. If someone wants to take their leftovers home, it's not the end of the world. Now, if she was ordering 3 separate entrees and boxing 2 of them, yeah, that's a massive red flag. But this just sounds like one of those quirky, slightly annoying habits you discover early in a relationship that you either learn to live with or gently ask about. However, there is a massive update to this post, and things take a total turn. Let's read the update. Here is the update our subscriber posted a few weeks later. Subscriber: Hey everyone, so I posted here a while ago about my then-girlfriend, Julia. Yeah, then-girlfriend. So, as a mini update to the restaurant food dilemma, it turns out she actually was dealing with severe financial hardships and food issues at her apartment. The moment I found out, I immediately offered to help her out financially, and she accepted. However, none of that actually matters now because she completely ghosted me 2 weeks later. Just vanished. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't hurt, but I've mostly moved on. It was a short-lived romance, and for what it was worth, I really liked her. I'm not going to stress myself out asking why she did it. The main issue I'm having right now is about her birthday present. Julia has always dreamed of going to a Broadway show, but could never afford it because tickets are insanely expensive. Since we had been dating for 2 months at that point, I felt really secure about us. I bought her a front-row ticket to a massive show. I only bought one because it was on a night I had to work. I transferred it to her email. She got the QR code, said thank you, and then never brought it up again, so I honestly forgot about it. Well, while I was removing her from my social media after the ghosting, I noticed she had posted on Facebook about her early birthday present, flexing how excited she was to go. I checked my bank statement, and that single ticket cost me $224. Not going to lie, I got incredibly salty about that kind of money going to someone who just threw me in the trash. I checked the ticket website, and there are absolutely no refunds. The only option is to logging into the portal and exchange it for a completely different show. The theater doesn't interest me at all, but part of me is so tempted to just log in, cancel her ticket, and exchange it for something random out of pure spite. It feels mean to pull the rug out from under her lifelong dream. But man, she ghosted me. What do you guys think? Honestly, be petty. Exchange that ticket immediately. She chose to completely cut ties without a single word of explanation after you literally fed her and tried to help her out. That is a massive breach of basic human decency. Take your $224 back in the form of store credit and let her figure out her own birthday plans. Now, let's move on to the next situation because it is an absolute doozy. It's titled, "My boyfriend forced us into an open relationship. Now that I finally found someone else, he wants to close it." Our next subscriber writes, "I come from a very small, conservative town where everyone knows your business. I was raised in an incredibly strict, traditional household, so I lived a very sheltered life. No dating, no parties, no freedom. When I finally moved to the city for college, it felt like a completely new universe. That's where I met my boyfriend, Leo. He's a few years older than me and honestly seemed like the most intelligent, amazing person on the planet. He taught me so much about the world and made my life feel thrilling. I was completely over the moon. We've been together for 3.5 years now, and he was my absolute first for everything. Naturally, I assumed we were going to get married. Then, about 8 months ago, Leo sat me down and told me our relationship was losing its spark. I was paralyzed with shock. I thought he was breaking up with me, but instead, he suggested we open up our relationship and try polyamory. He claimed it was the modern way to live and that it would actually bring us closer together. I was devastated. I couldn't believe he was asking this, but I loved him too much to lose him. So I said yes. Leo immediately set up a bunch of ground rules, but honestly, I didn't care about them. I couldn't even imagine being with another guy. My heart only belonged to him. But for the first month, things only got worse. I saw Leo less and less. He was always busy. When I checked his Instagram, I saw he had started constantly hanging out with this new girl. She was posting pictures of him all the time. I was absolutely burning with jealousy and crying myself to sleep, but because I had agreed to the open relationship, I felt like I had no right to complain. Then, a few months ago, Leo and I were supposed to have a rare movie date night, but he bailed on me at the absolute last minute. I was already at the theater, so I decided to just go in anyway. While buying popcorn, I ran into an old college girlfriend who happened to be there with her older brother, Ethan. We ended up watching the film together, and afterward, we all grabbed some drinks. That night, I realized how incredibly attractive, funny, and attentive Ethan was. And I caught him looking at me a certain way too. Ethan eventually found me on social media, and we started texting daily. I was completely transparent with him about being in a forced polyamorous relationship, and he was super chill about it. We started hanging out, going to the gym together, and picking up shared hobbies. For the first time in months, I didn't feel so alone anymore. I didn't feel like I had to beg someone for basic affection. One evening, after we had become incredibly close, Ethan just leaned in and kissed me. It hit me like a lightning bolt. I had real, deep feelings for him. We ended up hooking up not long after, and it was amazing. I felt cherished. Well, guess what happened this week? Leo suddenly comes up to me, looking entirely stressed out, and says, "I think it's time we close the relationship and strictly focus on each other." I was completely confused. I told him things were finally going well, so why now? He immediately shifted, trying to guilt trip me. He brought up my traditional upbringing, saying, "You come from a conservative family, you get it. If we want a real future, it needs to just be the two of us." The hypocrisy was blinding. He opened the door when it benefited him, but now that I've found a little peace and joy, he wants to slam it shut because his ego can't handle it. The update and the heavy hitter. Fortunately, there is a quick update to this. Our subscriber stood her ground. She told Leo that a relationship isn't a game you can just open and close whenever you feel like it. When he gave her an ultimatum, "It's either him or me," she looked him dead in the eye and said, "Then we are done." Leo completely lost his mind, accusing her of throwing away nearly 4 years of history for a guy she just met. But she reminded him that he was the one who blew up their spark to sleep with other women. Eventually, he broke down, cried, and admitted he was just incredibly jealous. They broke up cleanly, and she is now in a happy, monogamous relationship with Ethan. A total win. But alright, let's check on this iron farm. The spawning platform is placed, the villagers are safely locked in their trading pods, and the zombie is perfectly positioned to scare them into generating iron golems. It's working flawlessly, which is great, because this last email is incredibly heavy, and I need all the focus I can get. The title is Am I the asshole for wanting a divorce after my husband abandoned our newborn and toddler with our young teenager to go out with another woman? Our subscriber writes, "My husband and I have been married for 19 years, and we have three beautiful kids, a 13-year-old daughter, a 2-year-old, and a literal newborn. Our journey to having these kids was filled with years of heartbreaking fertility struggles, and through it all, my husband was my absolute rock. That's why what he did a few days ago has completely shattered my world. A few days ago, I decided to take a much-needed mental health day. I told my husband how exhausted I was from the newborn sleep schedule, and he completely agreed I should go unwind. I went out with my mom and sister for lunch, did a bit of shopping, and got my nails done. It was heaven. I left the house around 1 p.m. and planned to be back by 6 p.m. My husband was supposed to stay with the kids since we didn't have a backup babysitter. While at the salon, I got a notification from our Ring doorbell at 5:50 p.m. I called my husband to check in, and he assured me everything was totally fine and that he was just stepping out to the driveway to grab a pizza delivery. I trusted him. Due to a massive delay at the salon and heavy traffic, I didn't actually walk through my front door until 8 p.m. The moment I stepped inside, my heart dropped. My husband's car wasn't in the driveway. I walked into the living room to find my 2-year-old covered in spit up, and my newborn was screaming at the top of her lungs, completely red in the face. My 13-year-old daughter was sitting on the floor in absolute tears, having a full panic attack because she couldn't calm the baby down. I immediately took the infant, changed her, fed her, and got both babies to sleep before comforting my teenager. She sobbed and told me that right after I called him at 5:50, her dad told her he had something important to do, ordered her to watch the babies, and left. My husband finally stumbled through the door at 10 p.m., visibly drunk. When I demanded to know where he had been and why he abandoned our children, he looked me dead in the eye and casually said, "I was out with my wife having a good time." It felt like a physical blow. I am his wife. We've been married for 19 years. He then just stripped down to his boxers and went to sleep like everything was completely normal. The next day, he claimed it was just a mild mistake, and his parents are actively defending him, telling me I'm overreacting for wanting a divorce. Am I crazy? My verdict: get a lawyer and run. All right, let's step away from the game for a second because this is absolutely horrifying. Look at the iron farm down there. The golems are dropping into the lava pit perfectly, generating stacks of iron. It's an efficient, automated system. But this husband's behavior? Total, chaotic system failure. You are absolutely not the asshole, and you are not overreacting. Leaving a newborn and a 2-year-old in the hands of a 13-year-old child so you can go get drunk with another woman isn't a mild mistake. It is literal child endangerment and criminal neglect. A 13-year-old cannot safely manage an emergency with an infant and a toddler. Your daughter was traumatized by this. But the most chilling part of this entire story is him coming home drunk and saying he was out with his wife. Either he is so deeply entrenched in a double life with a secret second wife that the alcohol made the truth slip out, or he is experiencing a severe, terrifying psychological break from reality. The fact that his parents are trying to sweep this under the rug tells me they either know about his cheating or they are professional enablers of his toxic behavior. Do not listen to his family. Document the Ring camera footage, print out the logs of him leaving the house, talk to a divorce lawyer immediately, and protect your children. This man is dangerous to your family's safety and stability. All right, guys, that is an incredibly heavy note to end on, but our automatic iron farm is officially complete and producing resources in the background. We judged some serious internet strangers today, from theater ticket ghosts to toxic polyamorous exes, and finally, a husband who completely disqualified himself from fatherhood. Drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on these stories, especially that last one, because my mind is completely blown. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Minecraft builds and internet drama. I'll see you guys in the next video.